There he is. Hey.
There he is. The
Hey
man,
guys.
the man himself,
The legend himself.
the legend himself. Could you just check your settings? Can you see your settings and see if you can turn off the echo? So obviously people can see that Lex is on his phone today. He was having problems with his internet through Wi-Fi, right?
Yes.
Yes. So he's a little bit echoey today, and he doesn't have any headphones that fit into his phone. So hopefully we don't lose him during the show because
My phone
sometimes
may overheat. The back of my phone, the where my camera is, the glass bit's getting quite warm, but it seems to be okay for now.
yeah, okay. So how you been?
Other than sick, I've been doing okay.
Yes. So obviously I showed the video at the beginning, and if you don't know, we are doing a big reveal on Wednesday, June 1st at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. And what that big reveal will be, well, you'll have to wait till then to
They,
see it.
mu- they must be living under a rock if they don't know that we're revealing something. There's like countless YouTube channels with the same trailer.
Oh, really?
But you've done it, I've done it, other people have done it, like the reveal trailer. So, the word is out. If you haven't seen it, you're living under a rock.
Yes, and I believe Lex is going to be there as well
Hmm.
for the big reveal, and so we're
Thank you,
definitely
Jenny,
looking
for
forward to it.
moving your rock.
Pardon me?
Jenny, she's put moves my rock because she's moving.
Actually, I didn't see that. I didn't see that comment. So there are quite a few people in the room right now. We got paranormal consultant. We got Jenny Love, Paranormal TV. We got Sherry. We got Alex. We have Ken from the Wizards Table. Hi, Ken. How are you? Who else? We got Raymond and Philip from DNTV, who is our sponsor that we should be shouting out all the time, beginning, middle, and the end of the show. So I'm going to pronounce this name I'm not going to pronounce this name right, so I might butcher it. Nivea, Niva, something like that. The last name's Walker. How about that? We have a Nigel Porter in the room, and PD Regions in the room. And so quite a few people in the room today. That's great. We want to thank everybody coming over and watching our show. We have a couple of guys coming up. They're pretty good guys, and we've been on their show a number of times. And it was funny because I wasn't sure, was it last week or the week before? And I was talking to them, and I said, we need to get you guys up on the show. And I think that will be the second time or something along that lines. And they said, we've never been on your show. I went, what? Really? That surprised me because I thought they were on the show at one point.
You know what? For some reason, I have a memory of them being on the show.
Yeah, I don't know why. Thank you
Well,
for coming in, Paranormal World Investigators.
how many have we done on there? 3.
4, I think.
That
I
might be
think
why.
3. I think 3 with you and 1 with me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's. But I was surprised, and I was sure they were on the show at one point too. Anyways, doesn't matter. But they're here today, so we're really glad they're here. And so, you have anything to say before we start the show, or anything like that? Anything
Uh,
new other than you being sick?
no, not really. I think that's pretty much
No.
that sums up my week. So
Yeah, yeah. So, if people don't know, we did hit 1,000 users on Parapost this week, and I made an announcement. I did a video. I think it was Friday or yesterday or something like that. I did a video thanking everybody that we hit 1,000 users on Parapost Network, the app. So if you haven't downloaded it yet, go over and go to your iOS or Android and download the app and make an account It's free. It's a lot of people are signing up now, and they're posting a lot of different things, videos, pics. It's great. It's moving really, really nicely. So hopefully we can hopefully the next 1,000 is not going to take as long as the first 1,000 did. But
No, it shouldn't. The first 1,000 is always the longest one. It's the same when they say when you make your first million, that's the longest journey. The rest of it comes easily after that.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if that ever happens. But I don't think it will. But anyways, there's hope. There's hope still. So these two guys, Bald and Bonkers, they have a great show. They do many shows, and they also have other shows that are underneath them that are included. These guys are doing extremely well out there, and we were talking before the show started, and I was talking to Chris before you and Dakota came into the room, and they're doing well. I think Chris said something about 60,000 views or something like that. So, sorry, that's wrong. I'm sorry, 60,000 downloads. So they're doing extremely well. They got a great show. They're funny guys. We have a great time every time we're on their show. And I don't see it being any different with them being on our show today. So let's bring them up. I'll bring up Chris. This is Chris Moule, or is that how you pronounce his last name?
Moule, yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure that's how you pronounce his last name. I don't want to say it wrong.
It's actually Moule. It's Moule. It's Moule. It's a French name.
See, Lex backed me up there, and Lex knows you better than I do.
Yeah, but he explained it. It's a French name, and the French aren't that clever.
Yeah, that's very true.
Well, that makes sense.
I better watch what I'm saying. It's my great-great-grandfather, you know. It's French for muscle, seemingly. That's what that is. Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's French for muscle.
Okay, cool. So the next person I'm going to bring up, and I don't think I need to introduce. Well, I need to introduce him, but I think everybody knows him. This is Dakota Frandsen from. Now, which one is he? Is he like? You guys are Bald and Bonkers, so which one is it? I know
I would say he's the baldest one.
I've
still got two hairs there, so I would say he's the baldest one. I'll be the Bonkers one.
I see how it is, Chris.
So my question is, who's the bald? And we know you're both bald, and that's fine. But who's the bonker?
Oh, that would be me probably. But I think we're both bonkers.
Both.
Yeah.
You're both a little bit bonkers.
I'd probably say Chris. The amount of times I've seen their show.
I'll agree there. Yeah, I would say I was the maddest one out the bunch.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
but I'm Scottish.
Bonker sounds just so dirty.
Well, if people haven't seen their show, you got to watch their intro, because at the end, this kills me. I don't know, like I've never ever seen this before. At the end of their intro on their show, it says something about what are the exact words? Something about watching these idiots. What are the exact words?
Dakota?
Let's see what these two idiots will bring you.
Okay, there you go. Like it's just funny. You guys got, if you haven't seen their show, you got to go watch their show. It's hilarious, and they interview a lot of different people in the field, like with UFOs and supernatural cryptids and paranormal. So they do it all, and their show's great. And you guys are obviously. Sorry, I got that wrong. I said 60,000 views. I meant 60,000 downloads, which is phenomenal. Honestly,
I think it's actually over that. To be purely honest with you, that was a while ago. Dakota told me about that. So.
Yeah. So what are you guys at now, Dakota?
Oh God. Let's see. With the addition of our own TV network, I think if we were to bunch all the numbers together, what did I just drop? Anyway, we're almost at 170K viewers, subscribers. If you bunched all the numbers together, so.
You guys are doing incredibly well. Can't even talk today. So, and how long? You guys have only been around for what? A year? Not even?
No, 7 months, something like that.
7, 8 months we've been going at it on this platform, but
Yeah, it's just amazing what you guys have accomplished. But you know, like how many platforms are you streaming to now? Because I remember you guys told me it was a really, really high number.
It's round
Oh,
about 60, I think, is it? No, there's quite a lot of different ones. I mean, there's Amazon, there's
yeah, we're
there's
getting close
YouTube,
to
there's Amazon.
60 different locations.
Wow, that's incredible. And the views, I know you guys are in the millions for views, and that's just incredible. All in all, you guys are doing amazing work. I love watching your show, and you know, not only that, but you have other shows that are underneath you, and they are streaming to Parapost as well. You have Sherry, you have
Yes.
the Smiths, I believe they're called the
Yes.
Smiths, right? Yeah, and
Mhm.
you guys are just doing wonderful things. I'm assuming you guys are going to be adding more shows as they go along. You're going to
Oh,
be adding
yes.
more people underneath you, or is that a possibility? Or where are you guys when it comes to that?
Well, we do have plans to kind of set it up as a grand streaming network. We do have Living Histories, Mysteries. We've been talking on and off about him coming aboard for a while now. It's just that he's dealt with a lot of medical issues on his end, so we're finally pushing forward on getting that. But yeah, there's going to be more programs as we go and as we get a lot more resources under our belt.
Yeah, and you guys have a big guest coming up on your next show. Is it next Friday? Your show? No, when's your next? You guys,
We've
sorry,
got
that's wrong. You guys had a guest a couple of weeks ago that was a pretty big guest, and that was
Barry
Barry
Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald, yeah,
Yeah.
which was a great show. And
Yeah.
you know, I can just picture you guys as you guys are growing, as you guys go on, you're going to get bigger and bigger and bigger guests, and you guys are killing it. And it takes me a lot to get impressed, and you guys are impressive what you've done. And it's like me and Lex, it just works, you know what I mean? Like you guys just
Yeah.
work, like me and Lex.
Yeah.
Like we're told all the time that we have great chemistry, and you guys do as well. And even though he is American, and I'm sorry for that, but you know
Oh, shove it up your ass, Canada.
So you know, it works, and you guys are doing wonderful things. So my question to you guys would be, how did you guys get into the paranormal? Now, I know, sorry, before you answer that, Chris, I know, Dakota, you do a lot of things within the paranormal. It's just not paranormal. You do many and many other things. So we'll get to that. So what about you, Chris?
I've always kind of seen the dead, as one would say. I've always had this thing. I've always had this fascination with life after death. I've always had this fascination what happens in the end. And I used to watch all the ghost hunting programs, you name it, I've watched it. And I started going out myself, obviously, and then I thought, you know something, I started to actually do it on my old channel, was the Age of Darkness. I actually used to do it on there. And I used to invite people on. We used to talk about life after death, and it's so fascinating what happens when you die. Because I've heard a lot of strange stories. I mean, I've had a lot of family members that have told me stories about how my grandfather, he was dying and he was cancer. And this is going back maybe 20, 26 years ago. So I was young at the time, and he was looking around the room, and someone says to him, "What is it?" And he says, "Oh, my mother's coming to get me. I'll be going tonight."
Oh, wow.
That night he died. And I've always wondered, there obviously is something, and I can guarantee you that there is definitely something when you die.
I
And
always use the
spirits-
tagline, what lies beyond death. And
Yes.
that's my tagline that I absolutely love. But that's incredible. And I've heard that happen before. You know, when somebody says that they're going to die that night, and because they saw, you know, they saw somebody they know, or you know, a mother or a father or whatever it is, and then they're gone that night. It's incredible. And what about you, Dakota?
Well, to be completely honest, my sort of origin story gets kind of twisted, which makes a lot of people speculate I'm lying through my teeth. But there was a point in time where I actually didn't believe in this stuff. My kind of flipping moment was a school field trip to the old Idaho State Penitentiary. We were doing a tour of the place, and we go past death row. Now, I go to look inside. They had the noose hanging up, and all of a sudden, I see this man start walking towards the noose and start hanging himself. I didn't see anybody else there. Naturally, 9 years old, I start freaking out. It's like, hey, get in here. Somebody's about to hurt themselves. Second everybody shows up, the figure's gone. It wasn't until about a couple years later when Ghost Adventures actually filmed an episode there for their first season that they caught a shadow apparition that looked like the guy that I had seen, where I finally realized, okay, there's something to this. Then I started going out on investigations since I was 14 years old.
Wow. Interesting. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize, Chris. I cut you off there a little bit.
No, it's okay. Honestly, I'm happy. I'm happy, man. It's when I get into that kind of thing. I mean, I started doing the YouTube stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then I met Lex.
Yeah.
And doing research and stuff like that. And then I bumped into this crazy guy. And that's how it all opened up for me. It just massively expanded around about me.
Yeah, amazing. Lex?
Yeah, so I mean, Dakota, that is a pretty gnarly story for your first outing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially at 9 years old. I mean, fuck that. I wouldn't want to see that. But you've both been in the game for a long time. Obviously I think Dakota, you cover a lot more bases in the field early on than I think Chris did.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you, as your YouTube name did suggest, specialist of the strange. That's like you had everything you were looking into. Am I correct in that?
Yeah. When it came to UFOs, and I know this is going to be shocking for those who've been following my recent revelations, I was careful on that subject because we do have a lot of military bases in my area, so I was careful about those reports. But I've gone into everything because I've seen everything. A couple months back, when we had Dr. Jelf Meldrum, who is a professor of anthropology at Idaho State University, also known as the Bigfoot professor, I showed him some evidence, a picture of a foot casting that I happened to catch of a Sasquatch encounter I had, where I had a baby Bigfoot actually approach me as I was trying to set up bait. And even he's looking at me and saying, "We got to meet sometime."
So when it comes to your show, and you guys have interviewed a lot of different people, when you guys first started the show till now, what has been your biggest surprise about your show so far up to this point? Either of you can answer this.
I'll let him go first because
How fast it's spreading.
Yeah.
Simply put, just how fast it's spreading and how much we're catching stuff happen with us on camera, which is, thankfully, I managed to dig out my K2 just in case somebody decides to say hi to you guys while we're here. But honestly, I couldn't believe it.
I mean, for me, it was. I mean, I always used to watch, like, Ghost Adventures and stuff like that, and I used to watch that Barry Fitzgerald. I never thought in my life I would get to meet him. I mean, now I'm friends with him on Facebook. I talk to him all the time. It's strange. It's so strange. And the guests that will be on our show soon, hopefully, is going to change everything for us. And it is right, as Dakota says, it's how quick we're growing. It's ridiculous how quick it is. YouTube side, it's slow. Everybody knows YouTube's algorithm slows you down and does the things. But in the podcast side, wow, it's just exploding. It's just expanding.
Yeah, and it's funny because me and Chris were talking before Dakota and Lex came up, and we were talking about YouTube, and you guys are the amount of views you guys are getting on YouTube, and it's like everybody's getting those views recently, and like I even gave you an example. So I put a video up on TikTok and it got almost 400,000 views. On YouTube, it got 48.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's like there's such a massive difference, and YouTube's great. I think YouTube is a good platform, but I really think YouTube is falling down the tubes because there's so many other better platforms now. And I know TikTok has now raised their time to 10 minutes now that you can download a video.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I think eventually it will get up to even more. And I think when that happens, I think YouTube will just basically disappear, to be honest. It's just going to fall. It's just going to fall between the cracks, and it's just going to disappear like Parler. And if you guys have ever heard of Parler or MySpace, how about MySpace? Parler was an interesting social media app. It was like very political, very political, and nothing. You could say anything and everything about anybody, and you say it on Facebook, you get blocked, you get a violation. You know, and I just think, and it's the exact same thing with Facebook. Facebook's falling apart as well, because, you know, we always joke about this. What was it, like 4 months ago? I was watching your video with your UFO specialist or expert, and I put 3 alien heads because she's into UFOs, and I got a violation.
Yeah,
and it was like seriously, really,
yeah,
and I got that from Facebook. You know, so it's just ridiculous. But getting back to the questions, so when it comes to your podcast, before you guys started your podcast, what maybe this is more like during your since you started your show, what's been your biggest inspiration for not only doing the podcast, but keep on going and doing it? I know you guys are getting a lot of views now, but I think we all need a reason why we need to continue doing it. Is it because we love it, or is it, Dakota?
Well, for me, going into media, that's always been my go-to way of trying to process everything that's happened, and we can go into those stories all day, but going into media in itself was kind of a good release and helped me reach out to others who had similar experiences. But in the case of Chris and I, like you said before, it was something that just worked, and we didn't want to let it die.
Yeah. And Chris?
I think what's kept it going for me is it's again, this is going to sound geeky as anything. It's like Star Trek, right? It's like finding new worlds, right? I'm a Star Trekker, right? I can't help myself, right? But we are like explorers. Think about it. We are like explorers, and we're getting to meet all these amazing people, all these like celebrities. We're getting to meet all these people that do all of this stuff, and I just find it fascinating, and I just want to keep doing it to see how far I can get and to see how much knowledge I can learn from these people.
Yeah, and that's one thing I think me and Lex have learned is we've gotten a lot of knowledge, and we've gotten to meet a lot of people. Obviously, our show's a little bit different from yours, but our show is about helping, other YouTubers or paranormal investigators get noticed and grow. And it's amazing. It's amazing what you guys done. And I can't say it enough. I think you guys are great. So anyways, Lex?
Yeah, I was just wanted to expand on that a bit and just say, like, you've only been going 4 months less than we did. And so we've got to see you grow from the very beginning. Like, while we were broadcasting, you guys weren't even doing it yet. So to see where you are now, it's incredibly impressive. And I think a lot of people could learn a lot from watching your drive if they have podcasts of their own, especially with the end of YouTube coming, because we know that this platform is dying soon. So we all know. But I want to pop it back to the investigation side of things just quickly. I just want to speak to I know that us four have spoken about this in length before, but rather than, I'd like to get your opinions, and rather than your favorite pieces of equipment, like I would usually ask, I'd like to ask you, like, what's your most highly rated piece of equipment for investigating any of the things you do? So I know there's been things you've been talking about recently in terms of extraterrestrial investigations, but is there a piece of equipment that you think is incredibly useful for all types of investigation?
Dakota, you want to go first?
I gotta simply say, just a decent camera. Everybody goes to watch all these programs and think you need to shell out thousands and thousands of dollars to get all this equipment. Just no. Get yourself a decent camera and record as much as possible, because you never know what you'll catch. And those people that go to try to be skeptical about your reports, I mean, you can say, I get the voices in my head on video, so how am I crazy? That's how I tell people.
I think the camera's a good point. I mean, how many clips have we ever been sent from people for opinion, and it's filmed on a potato?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I get daily inboxes from people that keep sending me things, and I'm happy to review it. I love being sent video clips and stuff, so I love reviewing them. And so there's one person in particular who sends me stuff to debunk, which is really cool as well. But a lot of the good ones, they're like, I think there's out of the hundreds I've got, I think I've been sent one clear filmed image, where everything else feels like it's been filmed in the 90s. It's insane. So I think camera is definitely very important.
Oh, yes.
And Chris?
I mean, for me, yeah, the camera is definitely. I mean, I seen a UFO about last year sometime, and I tried to video it, and I've actually gave Dakota the video, and for some weird reason I could see it, but I couldn't see it in film, and it was so strange. But when you edit the photo, when you like change the contrast, you can clearly see it sitting there, which is so strange. But I do think some apps are actually good. See the Necrophonic app, I do think that's quite a good app. I will say that, and I do use the what's that Dakota, the one with the alien one that we use all the time, CE5. I use the CE, if I couldn't remember what it was there.
I'm not sure about that one. Yeah,
it's an app that you play the tones, and it brings like the UFOs out.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah,
Never heard of that app.
It's Dr. Stephen Greer's app, and it's CE5, and you play it's maybe around about £10, but I was kind of skeptical when Dakota told me about it, so I thought I'm going to try this. So I downloaded it, and I went up. I live in the kind of countryside, and I tried it, and I seen some strange stuff. I seen the lights moving about, and shooting up into the air, and it definitely works. I do like the Necrophonic, I must admit. It's one of the most creepiest boxes you can get. I mean, I don't know you, Lex. I mean, I think it's brilliant.
Yeah. Lex, I know. See, Lex has an opinion about the Necrophonic, and it's a positive one. But I think out of all the other apps, I think me and Lex both question all the other apps. Obviously, I've never heard of that one you just mentioned, but the Necrophonic is the one that I think is probably closest to something that's legitimate. But I still on the fence about it. I don't know. As you guys know me, I'm the SB7 is mine, and you know, it was funny because somebody sent me a video the other day of somebody trying to debunk the SB7, and I was sitting there listening to this guy, and I just wanted to reach in and, you know, just pull him to this side and say, dude, you know what? Yeah, I understand that you know all the dynamics of the SB7 and, you know, the millihertz, and you're saying all this stuff, but dude, like, seriously, you're talking about radio stations, and we've said this in the past that I don't know how many radio stations are out there that are allowed to say "fuck you" or you know, say some of the things they say, and it's just, I just wanted to get in there and pull them over and say, you know what, I want you to hear this, and show them a few videos and try to explain that. But necrophonic, I agree with, and that's great. So anyways, go ahead, Lex.
Yeah, so necrophonic I agree with is the closest to. I still don't know if it's perfect. Everything else, I think last week I did a really big shit parade on GhostTube, if I remember correctly. I really did shit on them, which is, I still stand by, it was great. So I want to flip that around the opposite way. And is there anything you see being used today in mainstream paranormal investigations in terms of equipment that you think is ridiculous and shouldn't be used?
I think the one you mentioned.
We'll take the apps out of it because we already know that it shouldn't be used anyway. But anything else?
Dakota, I've got ideas, but I don't want to offend them.
You're allowed to offend people on this show because I do it all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, we're well aware, Lex.
No regrets.
But, you know,
the Echo Vox, as Alex said. Alex was our guest on last week's show, and he's talking about the Echo Vox. I still haven't got yet, but I will when I do get it. I will review, break it down, and I'll review it for you and get it back to you. No worries. Is that the one you said it was like £22?
Yeah, it's £21.78. It's expensive, so it better be fucking good. I swear to God.
Right? No, it's apps aside, it's gray matter in some of these investigators that's obviously gone to crap. Because, say, like camera, for example, yes, it's good to have a camera on you, but there's a lot of these photos where they're claiming something is there, but they're just zooming in on a really pixelated area, and I'm just like, all I see is a crappy photo. I don't know what you're seeing.
Yeah, I agree, because I always find it amazing, even today's technology, how great the cameras are, and you're seeing something that was just recently filmed, like a UFO, and it's so pixelated, and you can't even tell what it is. And it's like, maybe that's the reason they're trying to get in there really, really close. That might be a possibility. But the camera's out there, maybe because you're on your phone, but if you have a regular camera, you can scope right into there and get a real clear visual on whatever it is you're looking at.
Well, a good example of that, Brian, is remember when we were on tour together and I took I zoomed in on the moon on my phone and took a picture of it, and it's crystal clear.
Yeah. So
there's no excuse for the quality that people keep putting out there as photographic evidence. So it is frustrating.
And Chris, what about you? What's your when you see a video and you see somebody using this particular piece of equipment, you're going, oh God, give me a break.
I mean, I will say this, first of all, I want to say this, there is a lot of people out there that do modifications, and you can clearly see it's CGI. But what I can't get in the YouTube particulars, big channels out there that I just can't fathom. They'll take a CGI shot price, say it's a spaceship, Lex, right? And the people in the chat will think it's real, and you can clearly see that it's computer generated. That's how mad things are. And then you'll get people that say they're using the latest iPhone or whatever, and they'll say, "Oh, look at this ship! Look what I got!" And it's true what Lex says. It's like a wee blurry dot moving about the screen, and they're using like something that's worth like £1,200 phone with one of the best cameras in the world, and it's a pixelated dot. I mean, a helicopter flew over me today, and I videoed it, and I zoomed right up to it, and I'm using the simplest iPhone available, and it's still done that. But it's not just that. There's a lot of devices out there that I think are a total con. Are absolute total con. There's the apps, the ghost finding apps. I think some of them are just a total absolute con to take your money.
It's like a paranormal Pokemon Go, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like
exactly.
What's that one? What's that one that's what's the one where you go to these locations again? I tried that. Or what's
That
it called again? It's
Randonautica?
Randonautica.
The
That
biggest
is
load of shit ever made.
agree with you.
Agreed.
You know, I there was one that was going around. I can't remember the name of it. It was last year. It was starting to get a little bit popular. I downloaded it, and when you download it, you actually on your screen you see a green, and then you can go around, and it will.
Yeah.
There's this little dial thing that will tell you that the spirit's over here. So you
That's
go
the
over
ghost
there.
one, yeah.
What's I can't remember what that one's called. So I took it over there, and then all of a sudden in the background you see like there's like it's like a oh, I forget what it's like a figure that's already on the app. It's embedded in the app, so it's always there. But when you go around and it's scoping this room, and it's got this little dial thing from like the army or something like that when you're on the Navy ships when looking for a ship,
Radar,
and it's like, and it tells you where the ghost is. So you go over there, and it's like, what the heck is this? It's what? Well, this is easy. Now I don't have to go all over the mansion now. I just use this, and there it is. I'll just stay in this spot.
It's not just that. There is a lot of cons out there. I mean, I'm not going to name the YouTuber himself, but he makes these radios, and they've got like big giant crystals sticking. You know who I'm talking about, Lex, don't you? He's got like big giant crystals sticking out these radios, and he says he's contacting Elvis and all that. You know, I mean, I find that
You'd have to narrow it down, Chris. There's like 50 of those.
There's a few that use that method.
It's Mr. Is it Huff? Is it Huff?
Oh, that, yeah.
Considering Steve Huff is the same guy that developed Necrophonic.
Yeah, but the big radios. I mean, I do find it funny. I mean, there was one of the videos that he done, and it was the day after Michael Jackson died, and he says, "Oh, I've got in contact with him and stuff like that." I do think a lot of that's for sure. Obviously, to bring people in to buy his devices.
A lot of it is. There's a video that they've already done with Huff, where you can see that he's just inserting ASMR YouTube video audio into his videos. Which they prove. So I didn't know that he was a developer on the app.
Did
I want to think about it even more because I need to know how it works because I can't find any audio files for it that when I've logged into it. So I'm not entirely sure how it
Chill
works.
Seekers is Steve Huff.
Yeah, but now that I know that, I'm even less inclined to use it then. Because the guy is one of the biggest con artists of this industry.
I never knew that either until Dakota told me there. So
no, that's insane. I will need to correct that on a show at some point. Yeah, I did not know that. But I just want to address quickly something that Raymond just said in the chat as well. If I can just quickly find it. Oh, he says about phone qualities. Yeah, it does depend on phone qualities, Raymond, with camera quality. However, it's 2022. The quality of cameras in phones has been A grade since 2015. So anyone who's investigating with a phone and they turn in photos to us of pixelated shit, I'm just going to ignore it because they're not putting the effort in. It's lazy investigation work if that's the evidence you bring to the table is a blurred photo. It's not good enough nowadays. We've got the tools. We need to do better.
So either one of you can answer this. So since starting your show, what has been your biggest surprise?
Well, my biggest surprise is two things. One, how it's grew, right? And two, meeting these people that I never thought in my life I would get to meet. You know?
In Dakota?
No, it's the same thing with a lot of our more high-profile guests. I got to message them, and apparently we got to find out as we're talking that they've been checking us out for quite some time. You know, I don't know who these two are, but they've been checking us out, and it's just like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I will say for the amount of time that me and Lex have been doing this show, I don't think we've had a lot of surprises.
Well, I had one because I got to interview Patty Adams.
Yeah, that was a great surprise.
From G Team, and I never thought I'd have someone like that on the show. So that was probably my biggest surprise in the year that we've done the show.
I think mine would probably be how well received the Betrayal and Fakers did.
Yeah.
Because that did extremely well, and I was surprised on that one, to be honest, because I thought we'd have a lot more backlash than we did. We had a little bit, but not much. Most of it was positive.
Well, I think this is because when we did it, and this is what I always say, and Chris and Dakota will agree. It's like I've always said, if you're going to make a video when you're talking about something in a negative way, like we did, we spoke about faking videos and a certain person who faked a video and betrayed you.
Yeah.
We did it with straight facts. We showed evidence. We showed the clips, so we did this. We don't just, a lot of YouTube issues are, they come out and make a statement, and then that's it. They don't explain the statement. I think why we didn't get backlash as much is the same when I shat on Jody Dean. I showed the picture that we were talking about, and that's all I attacked him for, was that. I mean, I don't need to show anyone how he fakes videos, because there's 100 channels that show you that. But we spoke about a certain thing that he did, and we used the picture to prove that he did it. I think that's why it was good. People came and saw the video. They saw that we weren't just trying to invent beef, that we were actually upset about something, and we could show you why. And I think that's what helped us when we did that video.
Interesting. Now I know you guys don't have a lot of time today, because you do have a show coming up right at 5:00 today, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we unfortunately it can't be a long show, but we'll get you guys to answer a couple of more questions, and then we'll kick you out of the room. So if that's okay. So when it comes to paranormal investigations, and I'm sure you guys have done plenty of them, what has been your favorite location to film at?
Oh, that's a hard one. I'll go first. I mean, there's a place near me, right, and it's a castle. I'm in Scotland. Let's face it, there's castles everywhere. And I always knew there was something strange about this place. And during the day, it's like really nice. Like it's like kind of scenic, beautiful looking. You could walk into the castle, you wouldn't really sense nothing, right? But see at night, it's like everything changes, because I found out in the history there was like 4,000 men killed, executed there, and buried around, and buried down like the well next to it. And we were actually doing an investigation at this just to see what would come up, and we actually had the ghost box going, and it came through Lady of the Castle. And it's quite strange, because there is a chapel just up from the castle that's inside it. There's a mausoleum, and there's a huge stone coffin, and it was the lady of the castle. She died when she was quite young at that castle. And I found that quite interesting, very interesting.
And Dakota?
Ghost-wise, I'd have to say one of my favorite spots was Boise Bomb Shelter. I was there filming for a movie where we did do ghost hunting as part of it, and I got into evidence review, and more the reason why it became one of my more favorite spots, because I got through evidence review and I started hearing a very familiar voice. And I even grabbed some of my younger sisters, and they're even like, holy crap, that's Grandpa. My grandfather was there trying to help talk spirits out and play.
Interesting. Very interesting. Wow. That's great. That's great. Lex, here we go. It's time.
It the big one?
It's time, buddy. It's time. It's time. But before you do that, I want to make sure that everybody knows that Bald and Bonkers links are in the description below. So if you want to click on those one of those links and go follow these guys, because these guys are great. They got a great show. You'll really enjoy their shows. You'll enjoy their guests. So go give them a follow over on YouTube or Facebook, or even go check out their website. I believe your website is below as well. So if you want to go check that out as well, it's great. So anyways, go ahead, Lex. And final question of the evening. It's fast. I wish we could have these guys on a lot longer, but I know they have a show coming up at 5 o'clock, so you guys are going to want to go over and check that out. Who's your guest today?
We don't actually have a guest today.
So what's your show about today?
Dakota?
Well, we are kind of going on a theme of mental health this weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
For this particular episode, what we're going to do is we're going to bring out some well-known scientific studies that kind of validate that there is at least some truth to what abductees are claiming. That there's some credible line to it that maybe they're not fully bullshitting.
A must
Well,
watch.
cool.
A
That's
must watch
interesting.
for sure. Yeah, definitely sounds cool. So here we go, guys. I know you guys have been waiting for this question for a year since me and Lex started this show. So please answer it as truthfully as you can. And if you have an explanation behind it, that would be great too. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Ready.
Which one of you is the prettiest? No, I'm joking.
Oh, God.
Sorry,
Me, because I'm all natural. He likes to use moisturizer.
I'm just trolling.
Look, there's nothing wrong with moisturising when you get to my age, but you've got to moisturise.
Okay, I'll do the serious.
Moisturizer's obviously doing good because Chris told me the other day he's 65. So
I know.
you know,
I know, it's amazing.
He looks it.
It does. So, right. So let's say that I had witnessed the most damning UFO in the world, and I'm using UFOs because it's your big field. So if I saw a UFO and the government came to me and said they'd buy my silence and give me all the money in the world, and I could distribute that to anybody, and I went, okay, here's my story. I won't say nothing. And then I gave that money to you two idiots to go anywhere in the world to investigate. Where would you go, and why would you go there?
Oh, that's a hard one. All that money.
All
I
the
was
money
going
in
to
the
say
world.
something about it, but no.
I'm about to say, I've seen those briefcases. They got some cash in there.
I think I would like to go to Mount Shasta, and that's the honest truth, because there's two places I would like to go to Mount Shasta, because that's famous for its UFOs. But I would also like to go to the Japanese haunted forest, because that's also not just to do with spirits and ghosts. It's got a lot to do with UFO sightings in that area.
Are you
Suicide
referring
Forest, eh?
to Suicide Forest?
Suicide
Yeah.
Forest?
Okihara.
Yeah, great place. Me and Lex is top of our bucket list. That is for sure. And Dakota?
Chris actually stole mine. Mount Shasta, it is known for a lot of activity, and there's some people I'm trying to track down who claim they've allegedly been inside the mountain, who have seen the city of light that's allegedly underneath there, and the source of why UFOs are such a big commodity there. There's also a lot of Sasquatch reports and a lot of spiritual activity there as well. I believe Jeff Goldblum did a special there involving Bigfoot not too long ago. And as far as in Okihara, well, Japan's always been kind of on my bucket list because my grandmother, she was a military brat and grew up there, and it's just the place I've always wanted to check out. And I noticed that there's not a lot of people that also don't make the connection that Okihara is just off the coast of Japan's version of the Bermuda Triangle, the Dragon's Triangle as well.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. I don't know if you've ever heard of these reports before, but here in Toronto, we have Lake Ontario. I'm sure you're familiar with Lake Ontario. There's actually been sightings of UFOs coming out of the water.
Yeah.
And they actually say there's actually something down at the bottom of Lake Ontario is where the UFOs are going. And whatever they're doing down there. But there's been lots of sightings of the UFOs coming out of water, which I think is really cool. I just recently read that, and I didn't even realize that, because there has been, I think it was about 6 months ago, there was a sighting over Toronto of a UFO, and if you saw the video, you can't argue. And honestly, this guy was using, I think he was using an iPhone, and it was a good picture. It was a good picture.
Was this the one where, I think there's a video of it as well, where it's not moving, but a plane, a bird flies like underneath it, so that you can see that it is a live video?
It might have been that one, but I don't recall that. But it was that. But you could see it. You could just see it, and the video was great. Obviously, it was pretty far away, and you could only get so close to it until the camera would have been crap. But it was incredible, and they actually say it started from over in Lake Ontario and was coming this way and going across, and it's just incredible. But you know what? A short show today, guys. I'm glad you guys were able to come up. We definitely have you come up down the road again. We won't wait another year, or we won't wait. I really think you guys were on my show or our show.
No, paranormal consultant went back through our log and checked.
Did he really? Oh,
Like,
of course he did.
But Chris, we have our own Mandela effect.
Yeah, but we'll definitely get you guys back up on the show. I have so many more questions that I want to ask you, because I had a ton today, and because and I had forgot that you guys have a show at 5 o'clock, and I just remembered at like 4:30 that you guys need to leave at around 4:50. But anyways, we won't keep you much longer, obviously. So you guys, again, guys, their links are below. If you guys want to say your links that I didn't put down below, shout them out now. Okay.
Dakota, you're the man with all the links.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want me to just ramble off all 60 links?
No.
Yes, you should.
I could take a while. Maybe the more of the popular ones that you can shout out.
Just go ahead and go over to baldandbonkers.net. It'll have access to everything there. It'll also have our latest press releases. We got out to, I think, up to 200 news channels just to help get word out about our documentary that's coming up. You can be a part of that as well. A lot of really exciting stuff, and who knows, maybe that Mount Shasta trip will happen.
Yeah. And I'd just like to say thank you, Bryan Lex, for having us on, and we'll need to get you back sometime,
Yeah, we have a great time. We have a great laugh when we're all four of us are together. It seems to.
I always look forward to Lex's dance at the end of the live.
You're not meant to fucking tell people that I do that, Jesus.
You're not the only one that does it.
But you guys get going. Go over and do your show. And anybody that's in the chat right now, you can go over to Parapost Network Central and go check out these guys' show. They got a great show. And if you want to go over to YouTube and give them a follow, that would be great too. And again, guys, thank you very much for coming on today's show, and we'll definitely have you back on in the future for sure. Okay.
Definitely.
Okay, guys. Have a great show. Have a great show. Okay. Ciao, guys.
Bye.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, wait a minute. What's going on here? That's weird. That was weird.
You trying to fucking replace me?
No, not at all. That was weird. I put him on screen and you went off screen. That's funny. Anyways, obviously it was a shorter show today, and I completely forgot they had to leave. And it wasn't until like I said, it was until like 4:30 where I go, oh crap, they have to leave at 4:50, 4:45. So they got 4 minutes to get settled and get their show going at 5 o'clock. So again, guys, go over and check them out. They got a great show and they have great guests, and even the Barry Fitzgerald one was really good too, and I watched that. So go check those guys out. So anyways, other than that, that is our show today, and I want to thank everybody that came in the room, everybody that was we got a lot of comments today.
We do. And I've just got one from Copper Lolly. Where's the dance? It's usually in the green room. There's during an outro song when I'm not on screen, but the Bryan can still see me. I'm dancing to the music like quite epically and quite embarrassingly, and I keep forgetting that he can see me doing it. And last time I did it, all 4 of them could see me do it, and it was really embarrassing.
Yeah. And next week's show, we have a couple of people coming up on next week's show. Lex doesn't know yet, but he's going to find out right now. Next week's show, we have Beyond the Veil from Paraflix. So they're going to be
shit!
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to be on next
guys.
week's show, and we're looking forward to having those two and talk about Paraflix and talk about their investigations. I'm really, really looking forward to them. I spoke to Francis the other day, and they were ecstatic about coming on. So we're really, really looking forward to having them. So hopefully you guys come back next week and you get to meet Beyond the Veil. That's going to be a great show. It's going to be a really, really good show. I'm really looking forward to that show. So anyways, guys, I'm going to say my goodbye. What's that?
I'm excited.
Yeah. So I'm going to say my goodbyes, and I hope everybody has a great rest of the day and has a great week. And again, don't forget about Wednesday, June 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We are going to be doing the reveal. So, and it's going to be everywhere. I think I have it hooked up to 10 different pages. So you're going to be able to see it everywhere. So hopefully we'll see you guys there. So again, have a great evening and have a great week, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Love it. And thank you to Chris and Dakota for coming on the show finally. Always a pleasure to speak to the boys. I know they don't like me anymore because I've got hair, but that's not the point. They're a great duo. And I don't usually do this, but I am going to shove you over to them. Anyone who's in this chat room, I'll be in their chat room after the show, getting ready to watch the Board and Bonkers because they've got a great show lined up. So finish here, head over there, and then next week come back over here and join us again. Thank you so much.